Okay, here we've got a figure. It's not Star Wars, it's BattleStar Galactica. So this is from 1978-79. There weren't many figures released, but the TV show was quite popular at the time. So this is the original BattleStar Galactica, not the new series. And this is the Imperious leader. So it's more or less in the same sort of size as a Star Wars figure. The card has the picture of the Imperious leader here, and then you've got the figure here. He's got quite a pink face with a sort of purplish hair and this big pink robe. I had this figure when I was a kid as well, so I do remember playing with these. So these are distributed by Mattel, and you know, if you grew up in the 70s, you would probably most likely like the original BattleStar Galactica as well. These figures don't have holes in their feet like the Star Wars figures. And here's on the back, this is the first series of figures you could get. You can get the Ovian, which I had, Cylon, which I had, Imperious Leader I had, I think I had 2 Cylons, the Daggett, I'm pretty sure I had that, Commander Adama, and Lieutenant Starbuck. So I had all of these figures when I was a kid. Okay, so this is a Mattel BattleStar Galactica Series 1 card, and it says authentic reproductions and costumes and details, each sold separately. Figures not for use with BattleStar Galactica vehicles. The vehicles they did make were a lot smaller. Mattel Incorporated 1978. Made and printed in Hong Kong. And there's the figure. He comes with this huge cloth cape, and as far as I can remember, the arms will just move, the head won't move at all, and the legs move. So pretty limited articulation. Condition of the card's fair, so not bad for something that's, how old is this now? Pretty old. 33 years old. Okay, bubble's pretty clear, dented at the top there. Got a crease here on the card, big crease there, and a bit of crease around the punch. So there you are, BattleStar Galactica, Imperious Leader, cost $1.97. I don't know if that was sold in England or the USA. And there you go, Mattel Imperious Leader from BattleStar Galactica. This is Star Trek The Next Generation. It's a Galoob action figure from 1988. It's Data. There's lots of versions of this Data. This is not a valuable version. And these were the first figures to be released for Star Trek The Next Generation, just before Playmates took it over, and then Star Trek figure collecting got quite big in the early 90s. Until Star Wars came along and took over. The figure is very similar to a Star Wars figure, a bit more articulated, but very simple figure of the same height. Next Generation Data card. So you've got all the figures that were available, minus the aliens that came out later, plus a phaser and the die-cast US Enterprise. You've got a little bio there about Data, saying his rank Lieutenant Commander, second in command, array missions USS Enterprise, origin android fabricated by unknown aliens. A human android so perfectly constructed that on applying for Starfleet commission he tested out alive. Second in command to Commander Reich on array missions, landing parties, his superior strength and mental powers make him a formidable asset to the USS Enterprise crew. And you've got a proof of purchase mission point, you've got the copyright 1988 Paramount Pictures, and the Galoob logo there. So Galoob actually made Star Wars micro machines as well in the mid-90s. And they were taken over by Hasbro later. So just thought I'd shove. Okay, this figure has lots of variations. There's a speckled face, a dark face, and I guess this is just the regular figure with a lighter complexion, yellow lips. The phaser's actually fixed into the hand, it's not non-removable, and he comes with a little tricorder, I guess, from the neck, and he's got his little next generation uniform on. These figures are quite easy to acquire now, they're not very valuable. It's quite opportune that these arrived this morning. I've got them off eBay at really good prices because these are quite expensive things usually, and these are black hole figures. So the Black Hole was the Disney film that tried to, back in '79, tried to capture some of the impetus of Star Wars, which was such a smash back then, and it was quite a flop. I mean, I went to see it back in those days. I quite liked it, but I was only 9 at the time, so you know. And these are the minifigures that were made. Same sort of scale as Star Wars figures, 3 3/4 inch, and they mainly made human characters without any accessories, and they were made by Mego. And these are the droids. The droids are a lot rarer. There's 3 series in this range, and the droids are the rarest ones. You've got Maximilian here, the red one. He's the sort of villain, very famous because he's got claws that come out and spin around, and he shreds his opponents apart. And you also got Vincent, the sort of equivalent of R2-D2, friendly little robot. And also in the news last night was the news that Disney has also bought up Lucasfilm. So it's quite opportune. That's why I'm saying it's quite opportune that these arrived today, because you've got a sort of Disney connection to, well, sci-fi films and Star Wars. Also, Mego had the chance to make the original Star Wars figures back in '78, and they passed on it, and the license went to Kenner, who's been sort of involved with Star Wars, well, with Hasbro as well now. But so these are really nice black hole figures. These are Italian cards. They were sold by Gig, and Italian Power of the Force Star Wars figures also have the Jig logo on them. So these are really nice. They're graded, both graded 80 overall. The Vincent is Series 2 Mego Gig Black Hole. Card gets 80, bubble 85, figure 90, and it's an archival case. Overall it's at 80 near mint. And Vincent, I mean Maximilian, he's overall 80, card gets 80, bubble 80, figure 85. And he's not archival though. Low populations of these two. If you check out AFA, it's about 3 or 4 of the Vincents and 5 of the Maximilians graded on the Italian Gig cards. There's probably a lot more on the Mego US cards. Okay, so really nice front card. Generic card, the only difference is the sticker which says the character's name in the top. It's got Vincent and Maximilian. Nice though, because they're Italian cards, you know. They're foreign, look pretty nice. Made in Hong Kong, the figures. I can't read Italian, so I can't really say what it says in the top corner. We'll look at the Maximilian first. There's the figure, the card, really nice. Okay, and then we'll look at the back of the card, which is really interesting as well. So you've got the human characters plus the robots. The robots with a robot sentry, which I've got, and a US card ungraded. Vincent, the robot there, which I've got today. Maximilian in the middle. S.T.A.R, which is really rare. Old Bob, which is really rare. And Humanoid, which is a legendary character. That's the Humanoid there. That is a really super rare character, up there with the Vinyl Cape Jawa, the Mego Romulan, super rare figure. If you check on Google, just type in black hole humanoid Mego and you'll see how rare that figure is. And it's a great figure as well. The human characters aren't as good, but they're a lot cheaper, a lot more affordable. Lowest I've seen is the humanoids. You could get maybe Dr. Kate McRae in the US for about $7 carded, which is very cheap. These robots are a lot more pricey. There's Maximilian. Comes on a stand, action figure stand. Let's see if I can get him a bit closer. Not a bad figure. Has a swivel head, swivel arms, little flaps, directional flaps, but it's quite a good figure. There's Maximilian. And I'll show you Vincent now. So Vincent's got his head down. Great little figure. It's a bigger case because of the bubble size. Okay, Vincent is quite a nice Italian carded figure. Has little thrusters, his head moves up, comes with 2 blasters, 2 movable arms, 2 retractable legs, and an action figure stand as well. Even loose, this figure goes for about 20 to 50 quid. Same with Maximilian. So, you know, both are really nice. Same card back. I'd like to get S.T.A.R one day, maybe. Humanoid is out of my range. I'll never get that one.
Here's another action figure I've found. That's not Star Wars. It's the U-90 loose Kenner Indiana Jones figure of Belloc in his robe, and that's a mailway figure. Comes with the staff. So there's 3 years between these figures. This figure's by Kenner and from Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's got bendable knees, and this one's the Megarite. Not the Megarite, the Zaranite. So you've got 2 really cool looking figures there. Okay. So this figure, like the Anakin Skywalker, was a mail away figure, and you could get it by sending in proof of purchases. He has this little gold thing that he wears around his neck, which has fallen off, but you can see it's got the sort of jewels encrusted on it. It's got a nice robe. This is Rene Bollock from Raiders of the Lost Ark, the main foe to Indiana Jones. Nice looking figure. Wearing a sort of turban, sort of robes of a Jewish high priest, I guess. And there's the staff. Great looking figure, this. U-90. Back of the figure. 1982 Kenner action figure, loose action figure. Hong Kong Belloc and robe, U-90. So you can see that better. So these figures are quite easy. You can still find them in the mailers, the white mailer boxes, which a lot of the Kenner Star Wars figures came in as well, like the Emperor, Anakin Skywalker. So this is Belloc in the robe, U-90. So that means it's uncirculated. Great looking figure from Indiana Jones, the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Nice looking figure. Alright, man thing, and it just looks pretty cool. And this figure mainly was a mail away. I think there's a few examples of this figure carded, but you're talking thousands and thousands of dollars for those. Mainly this was a mail away, like Anakin Skywalker was and stuff like that. So it's quite a cool figure. You can see it's got the ram's head there. Just looks pretty cool, and he comes in a nice cloth robe. He's got bendable knees, and you know, there's the side view. He's got his sort of turban on, back of the robe. Quite nice. This is the first Indiana Jones figure I've ever had. And you know, I think they did one of this version in 2008, 2009 when the new what was it called movie came out. So if you can't afford this version, I mean, loose, this will be about 20-30 quid in a mailer box, and graded you're talking 40-50. So it's not that hard to acquire. There is a lot of these mailaways. So cool looking figure, Belloc. And most expensive basic figure in this line is the Marion Ravenwood, then the Indiana Jones. The other figures aren't so expensive. There's another Belloc figure in this sort of explorer costume. You can get that carded. But this is your Kenner 1982 mail away Belloc. Been after this figure for about a year and a half now, so I'm happy I've finally got round to getting it. Paid about 35 quid for it, it's not bad. Plus you have to pay posting. A top grade U90, so I can't complain about that. Looks cool, and you know, nice looking figure. So it's your 1982 mail away Belloc. Okay, there's the back of the figure. Got some nice detailing on it and some nice cloth accessories. So it's not a bad little figure. Comes with that staff and this like tablet that he wears around his chest as well. Okay, so cheers, bye.
Okay, so here we're looking at Playmates 1992 Gowon the Klingon in his Klingon gear. Comes with a staff, a club, some sort of boar-like creature, Klingon creature, disruptor, which gets bent because you keep it in his holster. Let's see if I can straighten it. Yeah, and an action figure stand shaped like a Klingon logo. These figures were quite big back in the day, early 90s. And were only really topped when Star Wars came out in 95, Power of the Force. I've got this one I think in the German box as well. So these are really nice figures. They're quite well articulated, quite muscular almost. So he's got a swivel where the bicep is, movement in the shoulder, elbow. Yeah, so he's got quite good articulation there. He can swing his club. He's got swivel at the waist, at the hips, knees. No articulation in the ankles. Same articulation in the other arm. His head doesn't turn though. His head's really stiff. So these are quite good figures if you're into Star Trek, which I like Star Trek as well. Not as much as Star Wars, but I still like Star Trek. There's a huge amount of these figures, and you can pick them up these days for $5 each, carded. Some of them are pretty rare though. It's the variations and the exclusive ones that go for a lot of money. The ones I've got are in the German boxes, and they're just the basic first release figures like Picard and a few others. And I've got them in the UK in Forbidden Planet. I've got them somewhere. Okay, let's see if we can get a better look at the detail of the figure. There's the face sculpt, quite nice. The armour detailing is good. You can see a better look at the base. And there's the club. So it's quite a good figure if you're into Star Trek. And they're posed in a certain way as well. You can notice that leg is sort of bent, and you can put the gun in the holster. And these figures came with a lot of accessories as well. Put the gun in. Oops. Hold the figure. Put the gun in. So it came with 3 weapons. This creature here. Kind of ferocious looking, whatever it is. And he was the leader of the Klingons in Next Generation. So it's quite a cool figure. And nicely painted, lots of detail. Notice the back. He's got a sort of thing on his spine, and these were really big back in the day. Great selling line of figures. Okay, so that's your Gowon from about 1992. Yeah, 92. And now he's 20 odd years old. This is a perfect figure. I mean, I've just opened him maybe in the summer, so he's in top condition at the moment. And as you can see, they've done a good job painting him. He's got pretty good articulation and, you know, quite muscular, like the Power of the Force figures. Not as crazy as those ones though. Nice figure though. Okay, so that's your Gowon the Klingon from 92. Easy to find now. You shouldn't pay more than $5 for him, even on card. Okay, so cheers, bye.
Better look at Starbuck, just pick up some of the details of the figure. You can see how cool this figure is. And the boot details. And the little pistol he comes with. Tiny little thing. Nice little figure. Lieutenant Starbuck. Let's see if we can get a better look at the pistol. Not really. Pistol's not a bad replica. And the boots are those sort of pilot type boots.
This is a figure, it's not Star Wars, it's Black Hole, so it's from 1979. Disney made a film, Black Hole, to try and cash in on the Star Wars hype. I saw it in 1979. At the time, being 9, I thought it was great, but I just rewatched it. It's okay, but it's a bit, when you compare it to Star Wars, it's pretty weak, but the robots are cool. This is the Sentry robot from the Black Hole, and it's quite articulated. It's about the same size as a Star Wars figure, and I think it's based on a Micronaut's body, so it's pretty articulated. It's got bendable knees, hips, twistable waist, elbows, wrists, and a swivel head. And it comes with one gun, which doesn't look like the gun it had in the film. In the film it had 2 blasters, but the gun can fit in the holster there. It's got a holster on both sides, and there's the hand. So the Sentry was one of the bad guys in the film, and there's a black version called S.T.A.R, and he's a lot more rarer to find. One of the Black Hole figures, the humanoid, is one of the hardest action figures to find, and that's worth a fortune. So out of all the Black Hole figures, the humanoid is worth a lot of money. So I saw this on eBay recently. It's pretty cheap, so I grabbed it, and it was released by Mego in 1979-80. This one the Sentry might have come slightly later, 1980, and then the 3 Old Bob, S.T.A.R, and the humanoid would have come in slightly later, and I think they're just Italian releases. I'm not too sure about that, and that's why they're so expensive. So here you are. Looks quite cool, purple. There's another robot in this, Maximilian. He's pretty cool character as well. So even though the script was a bit lame, the film had some cool looking villains. These robots are pretty cool, and they're not too movie accurate. They look quite cool. I had 2 of these when I was a kid, so I bought these in Whiteley's back in 90. Well, it'd been 90. Okay, so the memory card just ran out. So I bought these back in the day, back in 1979 in Whiteley's, when it was like a department store. This is a famous store in England, London, and now it's like a shopping mall. But in those days, it's like a huge department store, and must have gotten pretty cheap because I had 2 of these Sentries plus a few of the other characters I'll show you on the back. So I did actually have these when I was a kid. So, and I thought the film back in the day was pretty cool. So I liked it. And the music's by John Barry, so the music's really good in the film. So if you've never seen it, it's worth checking out. And there you can see the gun, it's stuck between his legs, and is thus rather suggestive. Let's have a look at the back. There's the black hole at the bottom. They actually go inside. Okay, this is the back of the black hole Mego figure, Century, and it says the black hole, collectible Mego's fantastic action figures for your own adventures into the future. And you've got the characters. So you've got Vincent. I think I had him when I was a kid. He's voiced by the guy, what's his name? Roddy McDowell, I think. He did the voice. He was in Planet of the Apes anyhow. And then you've got Dr. Kate McRae, beautiful geophysicist. You've got Dr. Hans Reinhardt. He's the main villain in the film. He's like the crazed scientist who wants to plunge the ship, the Cygnus, into the black hole. Then you've got Maximilian. He looks really cool. He's a huge monster robot, and his arms have blades on them which can rip people to shreds. Then you've got the Captain Dan Holland. He's the command pilot. He's the sort of main hero, played by Robert Forster. There you are. And his ship's called the Palomino. Then you've got Ernest Borgnine as Harry Booth, the troublesome reporter. And you've got Charles Pizer. He's like his Captain Holland's sidekick. And then you've got Dr. Alex Durant, chief scientist. And he's played by, who is it, Anthony Perkins? Yep, Anthony Perkins. So these are the first wave of figures. So the Century came slightly after this. And he's not shown on the back. Out of these ones, I think I had Vincent. I think I must have had Holland and Pizer. I can't remember if I had any others across the two centuries. So that's your Mego 1979-80 black hole figures. And so nice back. This is their sort of Disney slant on Star Wars, trying to get a piece of the action. The film didn't do very well. Okay, so that's your black hole figure. 1979-80 Disney Mego, and there's the Century. That's pretty cool. So there you are. Not Star Wars, black hole. Okay. If you like this, rate and subscribe. Cheers, thanks for watching. This is the Star Trek Mego 1979 alien figure of the Xanarite. This came from the motion picture series. It's a 3.75 action figure. It's quite nice. It's got quite a funky looking head. It's got quite a nice design to the figure. And obviously it's contemporary with the vintage Star Wars action figures of the time. Quite nice looking. So this is the Xanarite. It's got a sort of gold belt there with some gold paint on it. A silver necklace with a huge piece of jewellery on it. Doesn't come with any accessories. Got some nice design on its costume. There's his feet. There's the back of the figure. Made in Hong Kong, I bet. Yep, made in Hong Kong. You can't see the Mego. Or maybe you can from there, no. It's got a nice design on the back. And there's the back of his head.
So there's 6 of these aliens in the line. They're all pretty tough to find because they're only sold in the Italy and Canada. By then the line had died, the Star Trek 3.75 line had died. So they sold them in the US, Italy and Canada. Because I think Italy and Canada had paid for the figures, whereas the US hadn't. So these are kind of tough to find. Unlike the sort of Spock, McCoy or Captain Kirk figures in the line, or Decker and Ilia. And it says there Star Trek Zaranite 1979 Mego, figure 75%, paint 75%, archive number, UK graders. So it's quite a nice looking figure. I mean, it looks kind of funky and alien-like, so it looks really cool. Nice looking figure. Figure sort of reminds me of a sort of Star Trek or Star Wars creature, cantina creature, like the Warsman or the Greedo or something like that. Could have easily stood in for one of those characters or been in the cantina. Great looking figure. Star Trek, the motion picture, Zaranite from Mego 1979. By then the sort of company was really doing really badly. They issued a few black hole figures which are really rare now. Some like the S.T.A.R, the humanoid, which must be one of the rarest figures going, and Old Bob, and then they released these 6 aliens, and this is one of them, the Zaranite from Star Trek the Motion Picture, and these are pretty tough to find as well. Okay, whereas the main characters of both movies, the Black Hole and the Star Trek the Motion Picture 3.75 figures, are quite easy to find, and they both did 12-inch figures in both lines as well, but the 3.75 figures are a lot cooler. And they also did some magnetic figures for the black hole figures as well, 3 of them. I've got the Mego S.T.A.R magnetic figure, and that was only sold in Italy. Okay, so that's your 3.75 Zaranite from Star Trek the Motion Picture. Last look at the Zaranite from Star Trek Mego 1979. Really nice looking figure, UKG 75. These figures, as I said earlier, were only sold on Italian and Canadian cards. So it's quite a rare figure. And yeah, nice line to collect, I think. Great looking figure. And certainly more affordable than rarer Star Wars figures. Okay, so that's a 1979 Mego Zaranite from Star Trek the Motion Picture. Okay, so cheers, bye. Great looking figure.
Okay, here's our haul video. It's got quite a lot of stuff. I'll do proper reviews when I get time, but here's a quick haul video. And here we begin with some stuff from yesteryear. We've got stuff from Buck Rogers. We've got a Tiger Man from about 1978-79. There's the back of the card. It's not the best condition, but it's quite a cool figure. There's Tiger Man. He's a draconian bodyguard for Princess Ardala. There's the card. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. We've also got BattleStar Galactica. Got the Ovian Warrior. Great figure. Had this when I was a kid. Got 4 arms, 2 legs. Head doesn't twist. And this sort of cloth robe. Insectoid creature. Nice painted picture there. Bubbles slightly yellowed and dented at the top. And here's the back of the card. Got the Obion now, got Imperious Leader, and now I've got the Cylon as well. Had all of these when I was a kid. Not sure, oh, yeah, I think I had the Daggett as well.
And then here's the Cylon. This one is really cool. This is the best condition out of all those three, the Buck Rogers and the other Obian. Really nice. Had two of these when I was a kid. Excellent figure. Brilliant. Has silver gloves. Really nice shiny body and helmet. You can just about make out the red eye. Sorry, the lighting's bad. It's really been... When I've been outside and my umbrella got blown to pieces because of the wind. So that's a BattleStar Galactica Cylon. Excellent figure. Nice picture on the card. And the other figures in the range. There's two series of these. So, okay. So those are the three figures. Oh, three vintage figures I got. The Obian, the Buck Rogers, and the Tiger Man, and the Cylon. Cylon's the one that I like the best. And he was a lot more expensive than the other two. Okay. The Buck Rogers from, let's see what year it was. It was by Mego, 1979. You can see the card's got a bit of a bend to it. It uses the movie poster. Great figure though, Mego, like the black hole figures. This was 91 cents in Lionel in America. Then you've got the Cylon, excellent figure. Brilliant, nice. And then the Obian. Obian can be picked up cheap and it's quite common, this one. Great figure, great artwork on the, sort of classic 1950s B-movie artwork. Great figure. Okay. I also won, because I won all of this stuff together with the two BattleStar Galactica figures. Three actually, I got a loose one, plus the Buck Rogers Tiger Man. I also got a complete set of the LJN Dune figures from about 1984. They've got no accessories, but there is a complete set. They've got the Sudoku guard. This is the hardest one to find in the set. Most of these figures have little big features in the back, so you can... But no accessories to this figure. He's a Sudoku guard. Paul Atreides, quite good likeness to Kyle MacLachlan, who played him. He's got a button there. So he just twists a bit. These figures need a good clean. Also got Fade or Raban. He's got a switch. There's his feature. Good likeness to the character. Fade or Raban. Here's Fade, played by Sting in the movie. Great likeness there. You've got Stilgar Freeman. Great figure. All these figures have features. Shame we've got no accessories. And then you've got the Baron, Vlad Harkonnen. He's got a belt. He's quite a fat figure, as he was in the film. That's his feature. We've got all 6 Dune figures. Got the Baron, the Sudoku soldier, Paul Atreides, Raban, Stilgar Freeman, and Fade, played by Sting. Great series of figures. Okay, so it works out about £2 to £3. I'd say £3 each for each figure. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Okay, a bit, yeah, about 8, yeah. So it works about £3 for each figure. From 1984 LJN. Okay, I really like Dune, so, So
So all 6 Dune figures, no accessories. Great set though. Okay, they're 5 inches tall. They're a lot bigger than Star Wars type figure. Okay, I'll do a proper review of these figures. They need cleaning though. Okay, so that's your Dune figures. Okay, the last thing I got from the same bundle was this Lucifer. He's a Cylon commander in BattleStar Galactica. He's a Series 2 figure. He's quite hard to find, and his head's quite loose, but it's almost translucent at the top. If I can focus it better. A little bit of paint wear. So that's your Lucifer. There's also a Bore, a gold Cylon commander, or Centurion. He looks wicked. Those ones are really hard to find. And Baltar as well, Baltar. Played by John Kalikos in the original series. Okay. So that's amazing but in both the new BattleStar Galactica and the old BattleStar Galactica, Baltar was played by 2 brilliant actors. And you know, it's such a pivotal character. But this is the, you know, if you ever watched the old 70s series, this is a sort of Cylon trying to sometimes upstage Baltar in that series. He has arms that move up and down, and that's about it. So that's your Cylon Lucifer, very rare figure. But this is maybe the first time it's been on YouTube. Who knows? Okay. If you got this carded, you'll be laughing. Okay. Cheers. That's your.
Okay, better look at the Mentor figure from Metamorph. Really nice outfit, Mego style figure, 2005 by Creative TV Toys, or Classic TV Toys, sorry. These are the other figures you could get. Professor Bergman, Mentor, Female Alien, and Maya. You can get a good look at the action figure. And then the back of the card, Alan Carter, Paul Morrow, Captain Xantor, Mysterious Alien, Professor Bergman, Maya, Mentor, Female Alien, Tony Vadeshi, Sandra Benez, Companion, number 8, Professor Bergman from Black Sun, Dan Matteo, Alan Carter in Space Suit, Paul Morrow in Space Suit, Ron from The Missing Link, Balor, The End of Eternity, David Carno, Computer Expert, Bill Fraser, Pilot. ClassicTVToys.com, and they're made in India. So this is Mentor, really nice figure. And then we've got Ron here. So there's Ron, played by Peter Cushing, of Governor Tarkin fame from Star Wars, in a purple robe with little purple boots, Mego style figure. There's the head sculpt, white hair, and hat. Balor, David Carno, and Bill Fraser. Here's the figure. Looks like a bit like the Imperial Dignitary from the Power of the Force line of Star Wars from 1985. And there's the figures again. So really nice figures. Ron and Mentor. Use the same body, different heads, different costumes. Just like Mego did back in the day. And these were issued by Palitoy in America. Space 99 figures were issued by Mattel. But they weren't as good as these ones. Okay, or as good as the Palitoy. So there you go. Mentor and Ron. One of the first He's from the second series, he's from the first series. Okay, cheers, bye. Star Trek, Space 99 figures. Well, you can get Star Trek figures like this as well. Okay, cheers, bye. The good look view of the head. It's AFA 85, and in Italy these were sold by Mego gig. So this is a gig figure. I've already shown, like in 2012, I got two black hole 3 3/4 inch carded Italian figures. I got Vincent and Maximilian. They also had Vincent and Maximilian in this this one for sale as well. But I went for the S.T.A.R because S.T.A.R is just such a, well, it's going to be impossible to get in a 3 3/4 inch. You're talking about carded £1,000 easily. Loose graded, they're going for £600. This figure, the 3 3/4 inch version of S.T.A.R. But this is a flipping legend, man. So you know, let's see if I can see what it says on the. So it says 1979 Mego gig black hole loose magnetic figure Hong Kong S.T.A.R AFA 85. You know, and you know, it looks amazing. Love the black finish of this cool item. Come on, man, whoever's watching this, who's ever into black hole, has to say this figure's bleeding cool. The only better version of S.T.A.R would be the 3 3/4 inch version, but this is still really nice. It looks amazing. So you know, S.T.A.R. There's 2 screws in the back. What a nice figure, man. I'm so happy I got this one. I am so pleased. I'm gonna cry. Okay, so this is just a top drawer figure, man. It's such a legend. And they have to reissue these figures, man. You know those, what are they called? Ones that did the alien figures in the 80s style. They've got to do the black hole figures, man, because these figures are so awesome, especially the robots. I mean, I'm not bothered about the human characters, just collect the robots, man. Vincent, Maximilian, S.T.A.R, Old Bob. Old Bob's worth a fortune as well, and the humanoid is just, I can't really think of a rarer action figure than the humanoid. Such a legend. Okay, so I mean, you check on eBay, you go Mego black hole and see what's out there. So this is such a nice item. Wow. And these figures are based on the Micronauts line, so they've got super articulation back in the 1970s, late 70s. So they're ahead of the game back in the day. Shame the head's turned. But what a head, man. But he is a robot, so, you know. Look at that. Blooming beautiful. So there you are. S.T.A.R. What a legend, man. Top figure, man. Comes with a nice blaster. Best place to find one of these is in Italy. And they do come up. There's one already on eBay for about 70 quid, ungraded. A bit more rusty than this one, but still, you know. This one costs more than the other two, the Vincent and the Maximilian. But I had to get this because S.T.A.R is such a legend. And it's the only way I'm going to get a figure of S.T.A.R. Just so nice. Beautiful figure. From 1979. 36 years ago. What a figure, man. Okay, so you can see I'm really pleased with this figure. So, you know, top drawer. Alright, cheers. Time to say goodbye. Bye.